To the Zoom Bait Company, if you're seeing this video is for you. I just did a major stock up on some spring baits, and I did it all with the Zoom Bait Company. I only bought their stuff, and I am super excited to start throwing a bunch of different types of baits. I mean, we got brush hogs, Z-craws, Z-drop worms, big ribbon tails, lizards, all this kind of stuff, and I'm super excited to get down and tell you guys what I have planned with these baits and talk about how much of an amazing company Zoom is. So if you've been subscribed to this channel, you've seen any of my videos, you probably heard me talk a lot about Zoom, and that's because I absolutely love the Zoom Bait Company. Their baits have caught most of my biggest bass, they've caught a ton of my bass, and they are an absolutely fantastic company that I would recommend to anyone who wants to start bass fishing. Their baits get it done. So today I'm going to be talking about all the baits I got, all the different colors I got, why I caught them, and how I'm going to try to dominate this spring on them. So let's start with the smallest. This here is the Zoom Z-drop worm in the purple smoke color. So let me show you what this guy looks. It looks kind of purple in the package. I don't know if you guys can see that, but if I take it out, you get that really, really cool smoke lamination on it. So the bottom stays purple, top gets this lamination. And what I plan for this, it is called the Zoom Z-drop worm. That drop is kind of what I plan on it. Drop shotting. It's a shorter worm, obviously, and that is perfect for what I want to do, drop shotting into big tree cover this spring. I have a lake that is filled with these giant trees that are all underwater, and moving this small worm in throughout there. It's got this awesome little tail that I'll talk about later that will just give this thing a ton of action and honestly make for some insane fishing. So I'll of course just take my drop shot and I'll hook it right here through the top and just let this guy do his thing out there. He starts off kind of a little bit thicker at the top and slowly gets thinner, which is going to provide more action down there in that tail, which is why I chose him. If you can see closely, this tail has a tiny little, almost like what's like a dorsal fin on top of it. And what I'm super excited for that is that's going to catch water better, and that's going to make this thing wobble a little bit more. So I plan on giving this thing some twitches and all that kind of stuff and just fishing it in that heavy cover. This is an absolutely awesome bait. This purple smoke color by the Zoom Bait Company. Purple's a fantastic color, smoke's a fantastic color. Zoom did it and combined both of them. I'm just going to keep going up in size. So the next thing that we have up is the Zoom Z-Craw. So this guy is mainly for heavy pitching this spring. And honestly, this bait's going to do it. It's a big, thicker crawdad, dude. And this color is one of the most favorite colors I've ever found. It's called Nightlight. So it is black with some purple and a ton of purple flake, and it is the coolest thing ever. Like I said, fatter craw, big craw. I can put a big hook on there, put, you know, with that big hook, I can pair it with a big weight, and that's gonna give this thing even more action. So the cool thing about this body has all these ribs around there, which is gonna give it a really cool fall. And that's what you want in, you know, heavy pitching. You wanna get a good fall. That's when these bass are seeing this bait and they're just wanting to go smack it. And this craw is gonna do it for me. Other awesome feature about this craw is the claws up here have those two little, almost like divots on them that make it so that catches water a little bit better, which is gonna make those craws do a fluttering action. Boom, 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 as they go down. What's so good about that for heavy pitching is when you heavy pitch, you want to cast in a tight cover, and then you want to give it a couple of bumps if you're not getting anything real back in. But that couple of bumps, this bait is going to maximize as much action I can get in that couple of bumps as possible, thanks to that type of claw. Coolest thing here is on this craw. This is a thicker body craw, and I did that on purpose. The reason for that is I can stick a bigger hook in him and still have it be completely weedless. So you need that in this heavy pitching type of fishing. And this bait is really, really durable. Just feeling on it, pulling on it. It's a freaking durable bait. Zoom is really, really good. I've had so much luck on them, and I cannot wait to get the heavy pitch in this giant craw into cover this spring. Next up, I got these 2 bags of Zoom Brush Hogs. If you don't know what a brush hog is, oh, these things are one of the coolest baits ever, and I will tell you everything you need to know how to fish them. We are getting into a bigger kind of bait. Let me show you how long this bait is. So these baits are getting a little bit longer as I progress through the video, and the reason for that is Zoom is my favorite company for big, soft plastics. They absolutely take the gold and have won my heart in it. So what we have here is a Zoom Brush Hog. This color is green pumpkin with some purple flake, and as you can tell, this thing is full of action and just crazy. So let's explain what all these things do. Number one, you have two curly tails back here at the back. That's gonna go do that spiral action, just kind of like a curly tail worm or ribbon tail worm. Then you have these two giant pad things that will kind of work like a flapping hog's pads. So they'll go up, they'll go down, they'll make a deeper vibration, which will get you more attention on the lateral line of bass. And then up here, you finally have these two things, which just make a really cool diving down and coming back up action, and they do a little bit of flap in the current as well. This bait is so versatile. You can heavy pitch a brush hog, you can Texas rig it, you can Carolina rig it, which is what I have a ton of plans for. But like I said, this is the Zoom Brush Hog. Color, green pumpkin, purple flake. Green pumpkin, it's a fantastic color to start throwing on your cloudier days in the spring. It's a really all-around good color for all-around year fishing. And that purple flake is what I think is gonna give me a little bit of edge over other colors. The other color I got is kind of like an experimentation color. I saw it, I was like, that looks cool, and I wanna try it out. This is the Tilapia color. So it still kind of keeps that watermelon, green pumpkin sort of base, but this thing's got red and blue flake in it, and it's crazy. It's another brush hog made by Zoom, and these, I'm so excited to fish this. I plan on throwing this in like late post-spawn springtime. Reason for that is this is tilapia color. What that means is it's mimicking tilapia. So tilapia are a bait fish, if you guys don't know, and bigger bait fish start being fed on by bass after the spawning period, and that's why I'm getting all these bigger baits. Bigger baits are perfect for the springtime. The bass are getting more aggressive, they're getting more protective of their beds, and they're getting more angry and easier to start hitting these bigger baits. And that's why I'm getting all these bigger things. This is a Zoom Brush Hog. This thing's got a ton of action. Same plan as the last one. Next biggest is probably the bait that I'm most excited for because I've had the most luck on them. These are Zoom Lizards. I got 2 packs of these. I got one color in the smoke red. These are the Zoom Magnum Lizards. They're an 8-inch long lizards. They're a bigger bait, and the other color is green pumpkin. And I am so excited to start fishing these. The reason why lizards are such a fantastic bait for the springtime is because, like I said, bass are on their beds now. They're protecting their fry, they're protecting their eggs, and they're getting a lot more territorial with you. So if you throw something like a lizard that can be a predator to these bass fry, you're gonna start getting bites. So these are the 2 lizards. Like I said, one's a smoke color, one's a green pumpkin, both some of my favorite colors for fishing in the springtime. They have 4 curly tail small legs that give a bunch of action, but most of it is in that big long curly tail at the base of them. They mimic a lizard, obviously. Coolest thing about these is they are salt induced, so you'll get some lizards that have these little holes on the top that hold salt. These are not that way. They have salt built into them. That's why they are called the Zoom Super Salt Plus. They have the salt in them already. And honestly, these are gonna get some territorial big mamas to start hitting my line. Same plan as always. Carolina rigs, Texas rigs. I wanna try both floating and non-floating. These are not floating lizards, but I do wanna try a weightless Texas rig to see what I can do with it. I also, believe it or not, will drop shot these things. It is a big bait to drop shot, but it still works. It will get me a little off bottom if the bass are not hanging on the bottom and they're a little bit up in that cover. To completely edify and proclaim my love for big soft plastics in the spring period, I bought 3 bags of Zoom ribbon tail worms. Every single one of these worms is 10.5 inches long. That is a huge worm. And the coolest thing about these guys is the way their body is shaped. So let me get out one real quick out of this package. I got them in 3 colors. This is the first color. This is the green pumpkin color. It's got an awesome black flake to it, and this body's got a ton of little ribs and divots in it. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna give me that cool fall I was talking about earlier. This, I mostly have planned a Texas rig on this guy. I really want to Texas rig him. I want to put a big hook in him. You're gonna want to get a bigger weight because the bigger weight's gonna make him fall a little bit faster, but that's gonna get that tail to get more spiral action as it's going down. And that tail is what is the key to success to these ribbon tail worms. But look at this thing. This thing is 10.5 inches. It is a freaking monstrous worm. So that's the green pumpkin color. This color is very important and very critical and specifically timed for the spring period. As you guys have probably heard from other content creators or other tips, red is a good color to throw during the spring. So I did one better. Instead of getting a red crankbait, I got what I trust. I got Zoom ribbon tails. Like I said, Zoom, fantastic company, one of my favorites. And the ribbon tail I have caught many bass on, and typically always bigger. So this is the red shad, and these are called the Old Monsters. This style of worm is called the Zoom Old Monster ribbon tail. Got that awesome Zoom imprint right there on the tail, and it's got a black back laminated with a red, very cool ruby color red bottom. And this is hopefully in order to trigger those bass, get them seeing it, and it's a fantastic color to throw during the springtime, which is why when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta pick that up. Last of these 3 colors is actually a restock. I have this package before, and I've caught a ton of bass on it, and so Zoom once again stole my heart, and I had to go get him again. This is the Zoom Ribbon Tail, still an old monster style, but it's Tequila Sunrise color. It is still a 10.5-inch worm. It's a big, big worm, guys. Big baits catch big bass in the spring period. I cannot tell you and edify that enough. But here's the sickest thing about this worm is this color, this kind of sort of light pink with a dark purple, took 2 of my favorite colors and combined it into one. Like I said, it's called the Zoom Tequila Sunrise, and out of all the ribbon tails I've showed you, this is the one that I've had the most success on, and it worked in winter fishing, it worked in fall fishing, and I'm ready to start off the new spring season with this amazing worm. Let's do a quick recap of what we got. First, we had the Zoom Z-Drop worm in the purple smoke color. I am so excited for this bait, and it's going to be an awesome little versatile bait when they're only biting the smaller worms. Next up, we got this big pitching Zoom Z-Craw on the blacklight color. This color is absolutely fire. It is just money, and it's going to produce so many bass. I can feel it right now. I'm getting the mojo. Taking it in. Oh, yeah. Yep, I can feel it. It's gonna happen. Super stoked for this bait. Then we got the big Brush Hogs. I got them both in the green pumpkin purple color and in the Tilapia color, which is this one right here. I am super excited to throw Brush Hogs. They're an awesome bait, and my favorite Brush Hog company is Zoom. No one does it better than Zoom. And I am so excited to throw these guys. Like, honestly, like, look at how much action these things hold. Zoom, you're killing it. You are killing it. You're killing it. Next up, the bait that I'm most excited for and that produced the most for me is these Zoom Z Lizards. These things are incredible baits. Guys, if you have not fished lizards yet, go do it. Hit the bed season this year with your Zoom Lizards because they catch bass. I can personally testify to that. They are freaking insane, and these colors are absolutely fire. 2 favorite colors of all time for lizards. Honestly, this smoke color, definitely going to throw it in some darker conditions. Murkier water, all that kind of stuff. That smoke is such a good color to produce. It can also be thrown in light color conditions as well, and that red is just going off the fact that red works in spring. Then we have this green pumpkin color, and green pumpkin is one of my all-time favorite colors for all time of bass fishing. Nothing beats green pumpkin. And it's just, I'm so excited to fish these giant things. They're just fire and monsters. Last but not least, we got our 3 ribbon tails in the Tequila Sunrise, green pumpkin, and red shad. These things look cool. They look like they mean business. This is the most beautiful ruby color I've ever seen. Green pumpkin, like I said, is killing it, and this purple and pink, 2 of my top most favorite colors also, and it combined both of them and did it. These are all going to be on some Texas rigs, some Carolina rigs, some drop shot rigs, tons and tons of finesse fishing. I'm telling you, it's coming this spring, and Zoom is going to be leading the way in it. Zoom, you did it. I love this company. Go check them out, guys. If you want more tips and more awesome bait unboxing on some spring baits and just more like that kind of stuff, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I would greatly appreciate that because I will always have more content coming 3 times a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Also, if you want to look at some Zoom baits, go get them because they get the job done. Zoom is absolutely fantastic. I cannot emphasize that enough, guys. They're top companies that I have in my head. They include Zoom, they include Robo, Yamamoto, but Zoom is for surely in there. And I'm so excited to go tackle this spring season with the Zoom. Zoom is an also fantastic bank for your buck brand. They offer their baits from anywhere from $5 to $3. That's about the range I've always got them in, and they're obviously so easy to go to Bass Pro, go to a local tackle shop, they'll got Zoom, and just get them really, really easily, and they're a fantastic bait to replenish with. Now, I know I've talked about Zoom a lot, but that does not mean that's the only company I like. Some of my other favorite companies include Berkeley Power Bait, Rage Tail, Carl's Amazing Baits, Robo Worm is another really, really awesome one, Lost Creek, and Yamamoto. These are all my favorite companies, and I've caught the most bass on these baits. If you guys are also looking for some other awesome gear other than just baits, please go check out Follow the Action Outdoor Lines. I'll put their link in the description, and they make some incredible shirts, as you can tell here. These things are freaking insane, and they have tons of designs. This is just one. This is their trophy buck, last day, last hour trophy buck design, but they got tons. So you can go check them out. You can use code UNREAL for 20% off. I'll put that down in the description as well with the link, and please go check them out because that code actually supports me a ton. So y'all better get out there, go catch some mondos, and happy fishing, y'all.